Today we're going to focus on, in this session, focus on user management, also adding users, deleting users, and such. So first thing we're going to do is log into our backend. So we've already logged in. Remember, we go to the site slash Windows, I'm sorry, slash WP dash admin, and then we log in with our credentials. So we're going to go to our let's log in here. And we're going to go to now we're logged into our dashboard. We're going to click on users. And you see right now I have one user in here, and I mentioned before, I think in the earlier session, that you don't want to use admin as a user, the actual admin username. And we just did it for our purposes, but normally you would use something a little more aggressive or complicated for that. So let's go ahead and click on add new. So this is a list of all our users, and we have one user here. It's me, I'm administrator. Also lets me know how many posts, blog posts that this user has created. So let's go ahead and click on add new user. So we're going to give a username and still email address, which is required. Reason why the email address is required is because you're going to get notifications sent to this user, letting them know that account's been created for them. I'll try to put as much information as possible. You don't have to fill in all this other info, but you can if you want to. Now you can either show the password, right? This is a new feature that's pretty good. I like. It creates a really complicated password for you. This information will get emailed to the user once you create the account. So they'll have the information also, but you can also change it. So if you find that sometimes that some users don't want something that's too complicated, you can go ahead and change that password and make it something that's a little less complicated. But the nice thing also is that WordPress lets you know how strong the password is. So, if you hypothetically put in something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is not a good idea, it gives you, information to let you know this is a very weak password and something that you shouldn't use. So we're going to go ahead and make a complicated password until it gets complicated. So that's just me. You don't have to make it very strong, but I'm just using, and the way you make passwords strong is by, adding special characters and stuff like that. So here we are, current password. Send notifications, send the user an email about their account. So this information will be sent to their account. And then you have the roles. Subscriber is just that. It's a person that will get notified about new posts, new blog posts, and things of that nature. Contributor obviously is somebody who can add content. And then we have the other option with this author. So what an author can do is an author can create new content. Editor can actually edit content. Can edit content, edit other existing pages of other individuals. An author can just create their own content, right? And then finally, the administrator. The administrator is the highest level, where you can manage the back end and all these things here. Now, some WordPress installs, they'll have different levels of roles. Say, for instance, you have a membership site. You can have different types of levels of memberships. You can have, and that will be included in the plugin, these levels of these roles. But out the box, you have these 4 right here. I'm sorry, these 5 right here: subscriber, contributor, author, and editor and administrator. And then get all these. I would play around with some of these to kind of get a feel on the level that you need. You definitely don't want to give somebody who is creating content administrative rights. You want them to either be an editor or below. And if somebody is just a site member just for getting notification about new blog posts and such, then you probably want to just make them a subscriber. Also, if you have an e-commerce site, there's different levels with that also. Some e-commerce sites will have different roles for people who are purchasing and people who can approve orders and things of that nature. So that's really the basics of it. Then you have let me go ahead and add this user. All right, so this user has been added. Cool thing it does, if I have an account with WordPress.com and I create that's associated with his email address, and if I do have one, it brings in this little icon here, whatever your emoji or your icon is been created. You have that associated. So at my WordPress.com, I have this logo here associated with my account. All right. So that's creating users. Now I can also go back and decide to edit this user. Now you cannot edit the username itself, but I can do some things, cool things here with some personalization with this editor, this user. I can change their layout, how they how they see the the login area, the colors that they see. I can also disable the editing, so they won't see the actual editing WYSIWYG area. Other features here, keyboard shortcuts and so forth and so on. You can change, and if you need to, say you decide that a person is a subscriber, but now you need to change that person to administrator, I can do that here also. And provide more information. One good thing that you can do, this is for search engine optimization, you can provide some detailed information about the person who is, say they are writing articles for your site. You can provide some more detailed info about who they are, what they do, and it helps with, that does help somewhat with search engine optimization also. All right. And you can generate a new password if need be for this individual if that's required. So that's editing the user. Let's go back. So I can also delete, obviously. So if I need to delete a user, I just simply come to the user area, click on delete, and it's confirm deletion. Now, the interesting thing with this is that if this user had created some content, it would prompt me and say, hey, you have 5 pages associated with this user, or 5 blog posts associated with this user. Do you want to also delete those blog posts? You can, obviously, if you want to do that, you can, or you can choose to say no. But if you say no to that option, you would have to assign the blog post to somebody else, another user. There's no blog posts or any content associated with this user, so it's not asking me that. But it's a simple question that's asked, and there's a fail-safe process. It'll ask you which one do you assign this to somebody else or delete the content also with this user. So I deleted the user, and it's gone. They're gone now, and that's managing and editing users.